and it might well be true that the flight attendant did not hear any barking. But then again, you have to think, well, would that mean she wouldn't hear the guy going Allahu Akbar? She wouldn't notice the sound of him striking the match as he attempts to light his shoes. We have turned an air travel into the most controlled environment in a free country, and as a result, and I don't absolve the flight attendant quite as thoroughly as Cheryl does, but I think what's really disturbing here is the behavior of all the passengers, including the dog owners. No passenger, I say this, I mean, I get so annoyed about this story. I have a dog who's very sick and has required specialized treatment at Tufts and up in Montreal and down at some place in Pennsylvania. And the thought that if I'd carelessly made the mistake of flying to Philadelphia, this could have happened to my beloved dog, terrifies me. If you hear a dog in a compartment, you don't record it on your cell phone. You don't tell a reporter afterwards that you heard barking. You stand up like a free-born citizen and you liberate that animal.
And Tucker, you risk being fined by the FAA. But wait a minute, interference with a flight crew, that is a federal offense. The FBI is going to be right there at the end of the flight to take you out. I mean, look, how many times have you seen people dragged off planes?
Cheryl, hold on. Let me just ask you this, and you may be entirely right, but since you've lived this, worked on an airline, do you really think if a dog barked in the middle of the flight and someone stood up and, as Mark said, liberated the dog, the FBI would arrest that person?
No, of course not. What I'm saying is that passengers are afraid.
Yes, no, you're right.
You're afraid of being arrested. You're afraid of ending up on video. Look at what happened with United and the doctor last year that was dragged off the plane. They also are responsible for the death of a huge pet rabbit. I mean, they've got a horrible record with animals. 18 deaths last year of the 24 that were recorded in the entire industry were on United Airlines planes. But again, passengers are afraid, Tucker, because you know what the fine could be? Even the civil penalties could go up to $250,000 if you interfere with a flight crew. People were afraid. I think this mother and daughter were scared to say anything, and I think the passengers were as well.
That's why we have to end this, Tucker, because we're training human beings, we're training free-born citizens to behave like domestic pets, docile and spayed. Because we're frightened that if we point out there's a dog in the overhead bin, then we'll be dragged off in manacles and subjected to the TSA or whatever. At a certain point, you know, this is the post-9/11 environment, as a result of which we still let in guys who run down people on the New York bike path and blow up Christmas parties in San Bernardino, but we shuffle shoeless like animals. Generally speaking, if you see someone without shoes in public, it's an animal. We have turned ourselves into animals in this post-9/11 environment. God,
that's so true. Cheryl, really quickly, how does an airline send someone's dog to Japan?
Well, yeah, United is also being criticized today because they got two dogs mixed up. They think it happened on the tarmac in Denver when the dogs were taken off the planes. They switched them by accident. This is the dog. Ergo, this dog went to Japan instead of going to Kansas City. That dog, by the way, is right now being flown first class back to the United States by United. So
first class on United, isn't that good?
The record is not good, Tucker. It is not good. United and that CEO need to deal with this.
I mean, society really is judged by how it treats its dogs, I think. That's why we're better than Pakistan. Thank you both. That was great and deep. Mark, Cheryl, appreciate it.